Mic check. Mic check, baby. We live.
Oh yeah, we live, baby.
We live in the motherfucking building.
Let's go.
What's good, brody?
Hey, bro, how you doing?
Oh, bro, fantastic. I'm truly excited. It's been too long since I've done something like this.
I know, bro. I've never done a podcast before, so this is the first one.
Bro, I enjoy it. It's a lot of fun.
I think we're going to have a blast.
No cap.
I grew up in many places, bro. I grew up, I kind of jumped around a lot growing up. I lived in Branson, Missouri for probably about a good portion of my young life. Then I moved to Florida and Arkansas.
So you were in Branson. You were in Branson how many years?
Let's say,
Like from you're born in Branson.
From my birth to probably about 15 or so.
15.
Yeah.
And then what was the reason to move out to Florida?
My parents, they got a job offer, but they just couldn't refuse. So,
Okay.
and of course, you know, who could say no to Florida?
Right. Florida is beautiful.
It's gorgeous, man.
Although I've never been there year round.
Yeah.
So, you know, at least from what I've heard, summers are hell.
Summers can be hell.
Yeah.
Yes.
So is that true? Like, do you suffer a lot? Just like Arizona, you know, they
you don't
say
want
it's...
to mow the yard in the middle of the day.
Right, because you see, I've heard a lot about Arizona where it's 9 months of heaven,
Yeah.
3 months of hell. Is
Yeah.
that kind of the same thing?
Let's just say, for the most part, the winters there are very mild. It don't get anything underneath, say, like 40 or 50.
Yeah.
So it's pretty nice. Now, the summers, they do get a little hellish. I think you look at it on paper, it's probably 100 degrees on average throughout the summer. But that shit feels like 120 at least with the humidity.
Well, and at that point, you can only spend like 20 minutes out there, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So was your parents' place, was it South Florida?
Yeah,
somewhere?
no, it was in Panhandle, like Destin area.
Okay. How close is that to Tallahassee? Because I feel like that's where most people would know.
Yeah, Tallahassee, I'll say we're a lot closer to Tallahassee than Gainesville. I'll say probably about an hour and a half, 2 hours probably.
Okay. Yeah, so sort of close. And then it was a job offer that they couldn't refuse. What brought you back?
They got another job offer in Arkansas.
Okay. And what did they do? Was it your dad's job or your mom's?
Yeah, it was my mom or my dad. My mom doesn't work, but my dad's in tech. So
Okay.
he does like a bunch. He started off at AT&T and then he got his own business going.
His own business. So how long has he run his own business?
I think he's going on 5 years now.
It's impressive.
Oh yeah.
It takes a lot of balls
It
to
does
run
take
your
some
own
balls.
business.
Yes. Balls that I wish I had.
Well,
We'll get there, man.
yes,
We'll get there,
exactly. It's only a matter of time.
Right.
So, but was this job, like, did it take up a lot of your dad's time? Like, were you able to spend a lot of time with your family when you're growing up?
Of course. And shout out, Happy Father's Day.
Shout out to all the fathers out there.
Yes, sir.
All the good ones.
All the sacrifice that they do for us.
Yeah, truly, there's nothing more important than a father in a household.
Of course.
For real.
Of course. Yeah, you need that father figure. But no, he. I mean, it was like a solid 9-to-5 job. You know what I mean? Like he'll be home for dinner and whatnot, and
Right.
go to the games. I was playing sports and whatnot, so he was around.
So what were you doing at the time, sports-wise?
I was doing wrestling back then. Wrestling and a little bit of football.
Yo, skinny ass was doing wrestling?
Who else is in the 120 weight class?
Not many of them.
Not many.
I'd assume. So what? Were you a good wrestler?
You know, I didn't really wrestle much because there wasn't many people I wrestled against. But I think I went like third place in like a tournament once. So.
Yeah. Which is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Was it a big, like a...
It was just like a district tournament.
Okay.
No, it wasn't state.
You know who else wrestles?
Who?
From KA?
Who?
Tim.
Tim.
T-Will.
You lying.
Nope. No,
Oh,
he's
man.
a wrestler too.
I'll have to talk to you about wrestling.
Dude, on one of our podcasts, he told me he was a wrestler, and I had the same reaction that I had to you.
Yeah.
I was like, what? Isn't that weird that some of the scrawniest kids get into wrestling?
Oh, yeah.
My buddy Tayshawn back from Chicago, he's a medium-sized dude. He's always been super skinny, though. He was a wrestler, too.
It's because we can just move around quicker, bro.
I guess. Yeah, I don't know.
When you're on that mat and you're just trying to like slide around, it's hard.
Because wrestling's a lot of technique, right?
Yeah. A lot of technique, a lot of formations.
Did you, because you were always into wrestling, did that kind of translate into like do you enjoy watching wrestling now, or like the UFC or anything like that?
Man, I like the UFC. Probably not for the right reasons, but the sport is very entertaining. Now, pro wrestling I can't get into. It's like different. Like the wrestling we were taught in high school is kind of like the Olympic wrestling, but American wrestling is not at all the same thing.
So what would be the difference? Like, is Olympic wrestling more about points, or?
Yeah, more about points and tackles. You get a lot of points for tackling and like takedown moves and stuff like that.
Okay. So when you say tackling, is it just like catching a body and flipping them, or?
Yeah, you could say that. Or just like being able to just like make them bend down to where like, so you can kind of like chop people's like, you know, their joints and stuff, and they'll like fold like a chair sometimes.
Yeah.
And then you can just get some pretty good points doing that kind of stuff.
Okay. And then what would be the difference between that and the other type you're talking about?
I feel like American wrestling is more televised for like dramatic scenes, you know?
Okay.
I don't think like John Cena, like, you know, jumping off of like the bars, or what do you call those?
Off the ropes?
Off the ropes?
Yeah.
That doesn't happen in wrestling.
Right. WWE is a whole nother
ball.
That's more about the show.
Right.
It's
yeah.
more of a performance than anything. And I think most people that say it isn't probably need to
watch real wrestling.
Yeah. Like, if you can't admit that it's just a show, come on.
Yeah.
You're probably fronting too much.
Right.
You know? Yeah, I've never been too much into WWE, although, speaking of another kid from KA, Yusuf's big into it.
Yeah, Yusuf. Yeah, I've talked to him about it before.
Yeah.
And what's his name? Dane?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a fighter, yeah?
Yeah, dude, he's doing professional fights.
Oh, really?
I mean, he's a badass. I mean, that kid, I mean, he can be scary, I think.
I haven't personally met him yet, but I'd love to talk to him about the sport.
Yeah. And it seems like he's put a lot of hours.
Yeah.
Like every day, training, you know, Lord knows, 2 to 3 hours a day, you know.
Yeah.
I would not want to fuck with him. Truly.
No. I can look at him and tell that I'm getting knocked out.
Oh, yeah, I'm ducking that, bro. You good? I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good. We cool? I'm good.
Hey, bro, okay, bro.
Yeah, bro, you know me. You know me. Please save me. So going back to just your childhood, what were you doing besides wrestling?
A lot of gang shit.
A lot of gang.
I was a high school dropout, believe it or not.
Really?
So, yeah, I mean, you couldn't keep me in school at all during that time period.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah,
So what year did you drop out?
2016.
What year in your school though? Was it like your?
I'll say junior year.
Junior year.
Yeah.
Really? Was that a COVID year?
No. Okay. No, it was. I didn't even go to high. I was in college during COVID. But no, I just wasn't vibing with it. You know what I mean? Like the public school system just wasn't for me. I didn't really felt like what they were teaching was really appropriate or needed.
Yeah.
So,
well, dude, I have to agree with you at some point. Like, especially as a college senior now, I don't remember anything from high school.
Right.
And a lot of it's just a load of bull.
It is.
And that's kind of how I think about the freshmen, like Gen Eds.
Mm-hmm.
What did I learn them for?
Yeah.
The only reason that I was in those classes is so this fucking school could make more money.
Right. They're making money off you, tax dollars. It's a scam.
I mean, anyone listening right now, can you remember stuff from high school?
Genuine question, but probably not.
No. I mean, you know, there's.
I think I know PIMDOS.
Right. Just all like the basic stuff that you need.
Right.
You know, all the math, the basic math. You know.
But I mean, any accountant can pretty much do that.
Right.
You know?
Right. And your basic times tables, or like, you know, your basic history or whatever. But besides that, I mean, I feel like most people. Also, I feel like education has been kind of given to us in the wrong way.
Right.
Like now, instead of, I think learning should be something you should be interested in.
Yes.
But instead, it's become like a chore.
Yeah. And 100%. I mean, look, you clock in your 9 to 5. You don't bring home homework.
True.
But I gotta go to school for 8 hours, and I still got 3 more hours of homework to do.
That's a load of bullshit.
That's a load of bullshit.
Yeah, not only are you staying there for just as long as you would like a regular job,
Right.
but they're also taking up your valuable time after the fact.
Right, where you could be learning some other kind of skill or, you know.
Right. And I don't know how it would be possible logistically, but they've got to make some sort of effort with like diversifying classes or something where instead of just a general bullshit education, that you could start specializing early.
Right.
Because
Go ahead. Well, that's what I was going to say with like shot class. Like some schools are taking shot classes out of their, credentials. And to me, it's like, well, what if that's something they're interested in? Like they can go on and be a carpenter later on and make a good bit of money.
Right.
Like,
and I think it's important to start early too, because that's when you're figuring out what you like.
You're exactly.
Because once you graduate, you're a senior in high school, then you got a big life decision.
Yeah.
Then you either go to college, and there's also such a stigma of not going to college.
Of course.
Like you're taking a gap year, and people look at you funny.
Right.
And I don't think that should be the case.
No. Like, give us some time to think about our decisions here.
Right. And everyone's just so young.
Yeah.
Like, can you imagine, even looking back now, it's only been 3 years since I've been out of high school, but I don't know if I was ready to make that decision.
Well, do you think that's a flaw in like the system?
For sure.
Yeah.
100,000%. Yeah.
Like, because I remember being in high school and my counselor saying, if you're not going to go to college, you're not going to make it.
Yeah. And that's the whole stigma.
That's the whole stigma.
Is that they think you're a bum if you don't just do something corporate, I guess?
Exactly.
I don't know.
But nobody wants to do corporate. Like me right now, I work a corporate job and I'm, thank God, trying to get out of it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be sitting there like 20 years in and go, what did I just do?
Right. And I think, especially in the corporate jobs, is that's how time flicks by.
Exactly.
You get caught in that loop. You get a little comfortable.
Yeah.
You get that first year or two raise.
Mm-hmm.
You
That's
start.
how they keep you.
Yeah, that's how they keep you.
Yeah.
And if they would have started emphasizing it early,
Mm-hmm.
I think there's so many more people that could not only have a better success for themselves,
Yes.
but make more money, be happier.
Yeah. And that's what life is all about, is your own happiness.
Exactly. And if you can find what you love to do, it's not work.
It's not. Yeah. And I think anyone out there that is having trouble in the corporate world, take that step and try to figure out one way to become an entrepreneur.
Right.
In some shape or form, because that will bring you financial freedom.
Yes. Yeah. I think one of the biggest emphases on that should be how you spend your free time.
Yes.
Because the corporate job, the job can be draining.
It can be.
And then you get off and you have that first drink. Yes, exactly. And you forget about everything.
Yeah.
Instead of using the time and thinking about how do I want to apply myself in something else.
Yeah. You gotta get in that sketchbook
to move forward. Yeah. Right. And
But I think a lot of people nowadays, they lack that inspiration.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
And because you can go down. I was talking to my buddy the other day, and I don't want to get political, but he's talking about taxing the super rich, which I don't entirely agree with that, but like they made it on their own. You know what I mean?
Right.
So like, what's the difference between me and him?
Even if you start with $1 million, it takes someone that's really smart to turn that into $1 billion.
Exactly.
Most people can't do it.
Most people can't do it.
And also, I think, kind of going off that, is that it's become too easy to just sit. Pull out your phone, click on your reels.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, distraction.
2 hours go by.
All-time high now.
It's just too easy to be lazy, I guess.
Disconnect.
Yeah. It's right. Disconnect. I think that's the word. Is just instead of focusing on your reality, you just can get away.
Well, and people are, and psychologically, bro, they get on their phones and now they're comparing themselves with these people, and that is going to tear you down quicker than anything on this earth.
Exactly. Because you're living your own life, and yeah, it's too easy to compare.
It's so easy.
And most of the time when you're comparing yourself to people on the internet, all the shit you're seeing is fake anyway.
Fake anyways.
All of them are fake.
Man's not owning this Lambo, he rented out.
Yeah, you got the monthly rent out.
Yeah.
He's not really doing it like he says.
Right.
And even if they are, social media tends to show all the good stuff.
Yep.
Even the most successful people struggle every day.
Oh yeah.
Like constantly.
Oh yeah. And mental health, I mean, shout out to June for Mental Health Awareness Month. Reach out, man. Reach out and get that help, like, if you're struggling in those situations. Because you don't need to be comparing yourself to where another person is at in life.
Yeah. Everyone's got their own journey. And I think eventually if you're on the right path, you're gonna find your happiness.
Exactly.
Either way.
Exactly.
Like, you're not gonna be
sit down, smell the flowers.
Yeah. Put everything down and just think.
Yes.
Just like
It's
appreciate.
It's crazy. I was reading somewhere, and people in their 20s are the most stressed than any other generation.
You know why I kind of think that is?
Right.
Is because life seems like it's too fast.
Yes.
When you're wasting your time, and you look up and you're like, holy shit, all this time's gone by and I haven't done anything, learned anything.
Have you ever sat on the toilet for longer than 10-20 minutes going on TikTok?
I think everyone has. I think everyone our age can relate to that.
Like, it's a thing. There's no reason for you to be on the toilet for 10-20 minutes, bro.
Yeah. I just think and also I do think we were almost kind of set up.
Yeah.
Like, we came into the age, or maybe my generation, and like you know, we're a little bit older than the people that are really gonna be affected by this.
Yeah. They don't even know life without AI.
Dude, I'm so scared for these kids now.
Yeah.
Because it's so normal that how do you even escape it? Everyone has it. It's just a part of life.
Well, like my 12-year-old brother, he has an iPhone like 14 or 15, bro.
Oh man. And do you think all these kids should have access like that?
Heck no. No, the internet is a dangerous space. Like, especially for children. Like, maybe for me and you, like, we can kind of control what we see and do.
Right.
But like, I mean, I hear that there's people like abducting children through Roblox.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I can't play a video game anymore
because there's some crazy people out there. There's crazy. And the thing about the internet is it gives those people a space.
Yeah.
They don't have to be in person.
No.
They can hide behind the screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's scary. I think I heard a story about some girl from Colombia, actually, that was founded in like Colorado somewhere.
Yeah.
Because she was abducted by playing Roblox.
Jesus.
And she was like a 16-year-old girl.
Yeah, that's scary. You gotta. The problem is there's no way to check.
No way to check.
How do you background check these people?
You can't. You don't even know their name.
Well, and there's so like you could, if you were some sort of weirdo on the internet, you could have 15 profiles.
Oh yeah.
And that's just unbelievable.
Just waiting for all of them to get blocked.
Yeah. And going back to the little kid thing too, that I think you and me can understand and break down what we're looking at and look at it for what it is.
Yeah.
When you're a kid, you just see it and think that's what it is.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a lot less thought. Yeah. So, God, it's just so easy to get caught.
I mean, what I would do to be a kid again, you know? I mean, everyone says that. Like, but nowadays, I don't know about that. Like, my grandma, she doesn't even know what the difference is with AI and real anymore. She was saying that Will and Nelson and Snoop Dogg were on Table Rock Lake the other day.
Yeah, that's unbelievable because it didn't exist.
Yeah. Like
they lived in a world where if you saw a photo,
it's real.
That's it.
Yeah.
And now they're gonna get so good. You know what scares me too is the voices.
Oh yeah.
They're gonna get your voice so good that they can get me on here saying the wildest shit that I never said.
Never said. You said you worked at Domino's, right?
Yeah.
Is that whenever you call in to like order a pizza, is that AI?
No, you talk to an actual person.
That's an actual person?
Yeah, yeah.
This whole time I've been talking to the same woman. I swear.
Yeah.
She seems like she's AI, bro.
Yeah, she's probably gotten burnt out, man. Dominoes will do that to you. Dominoes will do that to you. But you know what annoys me too is the AI stuff when you're trying to like get something done with the companies or something like that, and it sends you to an AI person.
Yeah, before even sending you to support.
Yeah, that shit really pisses me off. I want to talk to somebody.
Right.
I don't want to have to bitch with this fucking AI for 10 minutes.
People are losing their jobs because of it.
Really?
Oh yeah.
In what respect do you think?
Well, like, I don't know, like let's take it back, right? Before like cell phones and stuff, you had people who were like operators to connect your calls.
Yeah. Wow, I didn't even think about that.
They don't have a job anymore. And then next thing you know is, I mean, you just like how you said, for your example, AI generated people are like answering the phones before you reach customer service.
Yeah.
There was someone probably before that.
Wow. Yeah. God, it's only going to get more widespread too.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. What an interesting world though. I always kind of wanted to grow up in the 70s and 80s.
Yeah.
I feel like it would just be so... I feel like people enjoyed life more.
Oh, 100%. And that was like a new era, you know what I mean? Like technology fresh off the scene.
Yeah.
Like pagers just coming out, like before cell phones, like, oh, you got dial up, like, what's going on?
With my belt, man.
Like now it's like, oh, well, Jimmy's out at the lake with a boat and doing all sorts of crap. Like,
yeah, man, it just would have been such an interesting life.
Oh yeah, I think we're way too connected nowadays than we were intended to be.
Yeah, and that was actually going to be my next question. You almost kind of beat me to it. Do you think we've gone too far?
Yeah,
with technology.
Oh, 100%.
God, I could if I could say that every day to everyone, I would.
Oh yeah, but they'll look at you and say technology is the greatest thing ever. At least the
fuck you.
Corporate world, bro.
Yeah. God, right. You talk that we're so connected, but it's gone. It seems like it's had the opposite effect.
Right. It's to the point where you're so connected that you're no longer connected.
Yeah. There's so much less FaceTime.
Yeah.
I think. Much less of this.
Yes.
And much more
of just dialing up.
Yeah. Let me text my boy. Let me send my homie a reel or something. Right. And that's the only way you communicate.
Look, there's ups and downs to that, right? Like I'd say the ups is like instant like connection to where if you were in an emergency, like that's great. You know what I mean?
For sure.
But then it comes to a point where like I have John, Joe, and Dylan over here, and I maybe talk to them every 3 to 4 years, but I know exactly what they're doing.
Yeah. And it's never been the case where you could constantly keep up with someone else's life, and in such a personal manner too.
Yeah.
That's another thing that bothers me about the internet too, is how personal everyone is.
Yeah.
It's become the norm to show your whole life.
Yeah.
What happened to private? There's no private life anymore.
I recommend anyone to switch their accounts over to private.
Right.
Just because like you just run into internet trolls who will take it to the next level. And I'll give an example. Like the other day, I was saying like these rallies. Like I love protests. Like, hey, you protesting? That's your God-given right.
Right.
There's a difference between looting and burning down buildings. You know what I mean?
For sure.
And there's this person, and I just said, dang, like, just making a joke, right? And I said, unemployment activities. Because, like, I don't know. Like, I'm not over here trying to steal an iPhone from an Apple store, you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
And he goes, hey, Chase, so you work at Shelter Insurance, and that's my company.
Yo.
I said, what are you doing?
Yo, this got way too real, way too quick.
Way too quick. I was like, all right, pal. I was like, I'll just delete this thread and just call it a day.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's yeah, and I do think there's just a lot of people love to argue on the internet, and it's just a place full of
People are behind the screens.
mad people.
Yeah,
Just a lot of mad folk.
it is.
And especially, here's the thing too, when people share their private life,
Mhm.
and then they expect everyone to be nice about it
Right,
and not have an opinion.
right.
Like, it's not all gonna be all flowers.
No, it's not. It's not. And I think that that's one of the biggest flaws of the internet at this moment is just people. Well, that in this country, you know what I mean. Everyone is so divided,
Yeah.
and I don't know. You just get a lot of hate out there nowadays, and that could really drain you real quick.
God, I wonder if there's gonna be something to bring us back together.
We're going to need the Ice Age again. Something.
Dude, I just don't know. Like, obviously, the big one, semi-recently, not even anymore, 9/11 was the
Yeah.
big
It was a nice reset.
culmination that
Yeah.
everyone was like, wow,
Let's put
we have
America first.
we have to come together as one people.
Right.
And Lord knows we're way
Past
too
that.
far from that.
Yeah.
And I just don't know how we're going to get back. I mean,
Do you think this is more like a spiritual battle though? I know, getting
God.
deep.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just a ideological,
yeah.
like, total divide,
Yes.
and that it just feels so hard to relate
Yeah.
and try to reach some sort of middle ground.
Well, everyone. I mean, America is like it's a pot. You know what I mean? It's a burning pot. It's where like everyone from every culture is here, and not everyone shares the same perspective growing up.
Right. Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. I wonder what it's gonna take for us to get back.
I don't know, man. I hope that an EMT or what is it? One of those electric bombs or whatever goes off, and it just shuts down the whole grid.
Yo, that would actually be pretty good.
That would be good.
I also think there is something to be said for like the internet playing a part in kind of muckying the story a little.
Yeah.
Like, it's very easy to be fed one side of the story,
Mm-hmm.
and then the other side is fed a totally different side of the story.
Right.
And both of you end up thinking that your story is facts, and they think their story is a fact.
So who's wrong?
Exactly. Where do you go?
Right.
And
Because what you experience in life, that's facts. You know what I mean? What I experience in life, that's facts. So when I share my perspective, you share your perspective. I say your perspective's wrong. You say my perspective's wrong. We're not meeting nowhere.
yeah.
We're not going anywhere with this conversation.
And the worst part about it is it seems like the big issues are so divided
Yep.
that is there a middle ground there? Because somebody is so far right and someone is so far to the left. And
It's hard to meet in that middle.
yeah, I wonder if it's gonna happen soon.
Yeah.
Just don't. I think we're really at a cusp here where like something needs to happen.
Something dramatic will be happening.
God, well, and
And you see all this stuff going on in Israel.
yeah, God, that's some scary shit, dude.
Scary shit.
Scary stuff. Yeah. Isn't it weird that we're just sitting here chilling in America and there's like 2 wars going on?
It's blasphemy.
It's unbelievable. There's 2 wars going on and I'm sitting here podcasting.
But like,
It makes me feel really blessed.
it's yeah,
For
we're
one.
very blessed.
Yeah.
Like, and that's the thing. You gotta smell your flowers. You know what I mean? Like, we're here in America and we are protected as of now. Like, and we have been for the past 300 years almost.
Yeah.
So it's like, because the only war that we've ever had here in America was the Revolutionary War, and then the Civil War.
Right. And it's been a long time since then.
Right. Any other war we had, we conquered land with it.
Yeah. Yep. I think there's a big thing to be said for appreciating being here.
Right.
Because there's no place like this.
No place like this. This is the land of the free.
If you want to go and speak your mind in another country,
Yeah.
good luck. Go out there and try.
Right.
because they will lock you up.
Any dictatorship, you're getting hung in Times Square.
Yeah, they'll lock you up. Your family won't hear from you again.
Yeah.
And here you are totally free. I can say fuck Trump if I want.
Right.
I can say fuck Barack if I want.
We can say fuck almost any politician.
Yeah.
And that's our goddamn right.
And that's just the start of everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like just my basic being able to speak freely.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I can't even imagine living in China or, some of these other places where
they got slaves in China.
Well, yeah. I mean,
it's intense.
Yeah. Talk about just, man, they got a lot.
And that's because of your religious beliefs.
Really?
Oh yeah. They lock up Muslims, they lock up Christians, all of it.
Yeah. Well, and also too that the entire Chinese media is just state run.
Oh yeah.
So they got total control of every narrative.
Mm-hmm.
And even if you're caught saying a little like a side comment to your buddy you've known for forever,
your buddy could report you the next day.
Your buddy is he's siding with the government because he knows that they're gonna come after you.
Mm-hmm. God,
man, we're so lucky to be here.
It's a blessing, bro. Like, there's no other place I'd rather be born out than here.
Truly. I do want to go back to kind of your early life though, and especially in Florida, because I want to. So, how many years were you there?
I was there for about 5 years.
Okay, and then, so being like a new person in a new state, was it hard for you to assimilate? Like, was it hard for you to make friends?
Group and stuff? Yeah, for sure. I remember early stages, man. I would ride the school bus, you know what I mean, and I'd be that lonely guy, But eventually, like, you just make those friends, make those connections. You overhear conversations, and you're just like, hey, I can vibe with that. Like, and you put your 2 cents in, and all of a sudden you're in a group.
Was there a first time that you recognized that? Like, was it on the bus where you heard some guy that you're like, I be fucking with the same shit?
Yeah. I remember, shout out to Lily, because she really brought me into a whole new atmosphere in Florida. I mean, we'd kick it, we'll hang out, and it was just a vibe. But then you meet other people, you shift towards another friend group, or you know what I mean?
Right. I feel like also the first group you meet usually isn't the one you stick with.
Right. 100%.
Yeah. Especially, and I can think
but it's a nice stepping stone.
Exactly. I can think of when I got to college, those first 10 people are not still the first 10 that are on the top of my list.
Right. And that's the thing, like, you pick and choose what you like and who you vibe with, and if you don't vibe with those persons, nothing against them. You know what I mean?
What was the schooling a lot different compared to Missouri in Florida?
So much different. I remember, because I got there in 9th grade, and I remember they were teaching stuff that I was taught in like 7th grade. And I was just sitting there, and I got there like in the middle of like the 2nd semester, so it was like March time period. And because of where they were at, I was so much advanced than any other kid there. Because like, our education system is just a lot better.
So you were already like bounds ahead.
Yeah.
Did it get to a point where you're just like, I'm not even paying attention? Fuck all y'all.
100%. I wasn't paying attention. It came to a point where I was like, I already learned about Helen Keller. Like,
like we don't need to cover this again.
And so that's when I started skipping classes, you know what I mean?
Okay, yeah. And that's what I wanted to get to, was the whole process of you dropping out, and how, like, did it start in Florida, or were you already thinking about it, or?
So I never officially dropped out. I just stopped showing up. And it came to a point where my mom had a dentist appointment for me, and she went to call me out of school. I was supposed to be in math class at that moment.
Oh no.
And the math teacher meets up with my mom and says, I have never met your son. I've not seen him in my class once.
Yo, that's unbelievable.
And so I got a really upset call then.
So how are you spending your time then?
Just BS, and I mean, the beach was right down the road. I'd go to the beach, hang out with the homies. This is when I started smoking weed, so I was like, hey, that's the scene, you know? Like,
Yeah.
hang out with the druggies, you know, smoke some pot.
Fuck this school shit, man.
Fuck this school stuff.
Mom, I'm going to get stoned. Fuck all
I'm going to get
this.
stoned, exactly. It was great. And then all of a sudden, my mom was like, she gave me an ultimatum. She was like, you can either stay in the house and go back to school, or we're going to kick you out, because I just turned 18. And I was like, well, we're living in Florida. It ain't the cheapest place to live. And I was like, well, I guess I'll go back to school. So I ended up going to like an alternative school where like all the bad kids were, you know what I mean?
Really?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
that was a very big turning point, because I looked at that and I was like, I didn't learn crap there.
Yeah.
I'm talking, when you walk into this school, you're getting swapped down by the metal detector.
Right, empty your pockets.
Empty your
Oh,
pockets.
shit.
And I'm sitting here and I'm just like, this ain't for me. So I officially dropped out, and I told my mom I wasn't going back.
Yeah, like, Mom, I ain't spending no time with these fuck ups.
Yeah.
Like, I ain't doing it.
I was like, if you want me to be influenced by them, that's on you.
Yeah, Mom, this is gonna make me worse, Mom.
Right.
Like, pull me out of here right now. Do you remember, like, walk me through your first day? If you can, if you remember it.
So, I actually had a few friends that went to the school, because we were all in the same boat.
Yeah, you druggy motherfuckers.
You know what I mean? We're all in the same boat. And so I was looking at my boy Isaiah, and I was like, he's already been there for like a month now. And I'm like, is it really what you're telling me? And he was like, oh yeah, you're getting swapped down, like they're checking your pockets, they're running you up, like all of it.
Yeah.
I didn't believe him. I was like, oh, okay, whatever. I get there, the bus drops us off, and it feels like a freaking school within a prison.
Ooh.
Like, we're talking barbed wire fences.
Oh no.
We're talking like the whole 9 yards. You know
Oh
what I mean?
fuck.
And security all at like every corner of the school. And I was just like, ain't no way I'm here. And so I just ended up going in. They wanted me down. They took our cell phones at the door, so we couldn't have any kind of cell phones in there.
So would they give it back to you at the end of the
Yeah,
day?
they give it back to you at the end of the day.
Wow.
I'm pretty sure they left it on the bus.
That's unbelievable. They said no contact.
No
Y'all
contact.
to the outside world. Like, you're here, the door's closed and you're stuck.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
It took me about 2 or 3 weeks after that to start driving myself to class. And I would go there, and then I would pick up my homie who just got dropped off in the bus, and we would just go do our own thing.
Y'all would just dip anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't blame you. It just sounds like an unbelievably different experience, especially compared to Missouri, probably.
Oh yeah. I don't know what the alternative school system is here in Missouri, but
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know if they have like gates or like barbed wire fences or what, but yeah, it made me definitely feel like I was a juvenile.
So was the teaching in the center, was it like something normal? Like, how did they...
It was like computer based.
Okay.
So they'll set you down in like a computer lab. They'll have a teacher, obviously, to help you out. But it was like pretty much just multiple choice questions throughout the whole thing. I remember there was like my first or second week there, we did nothing but watch Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Classic.
And I'm sitting here and I'm like, I could watch Bill Nye the Science Guy. Like,
Right. Yeah. What am I really doing here?
right.
Yeah.
It was definitely something different.
Were you like, did they?
It was easy, but different.
Yeah. Was it like? Did you still have like
Exams and stuff?
Well, like a normal class schedule?
Oh yeah,
Or,
yeah.
Like in blocks.
Yeah, like you'll have your 8 a.m., 9 a.m., stuff like that.
And you had a lunch period
Yeah,
too?
yeah,
Would they
lunch
like
period.
shackle you up to the?
No, I was
Like, you can't get up. You only get
Can't
one
get up.
bathroom break a day.
No, I mean, it was pretty chill. I mean, the lunch was probably my favorite because that's where I saw fights, you know what I mean?
Oh shit. Okay.
So I would sit there and entertain myself. I'd be like, I would look at my homies and I'd be like, hey bro, Davion's about to beat fucking...
Yo, I got 10 bones on Javion to win this one.
I got 10 bones on Davion. He's going to get out of.
Oh, so was there like a big dog or like a group that was
Yeah,
like
for sure.
okay.
Yeah. Who would like what you would compare like as like the cell king or whatever, cell boss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And did you know just to like
You befriend them, so
Yeah.
they're clear, you know what I mean?
just like we cool, we ain't gonna have no beef
You
or
next milk,
whatever.
I got you, bro.
Yeah, in fact, yo, you need my tater tots, I got you.
Yeah, I got you.
So how long did it take after you being there to say, Mom, this isn't gonna
At least the first month, within the first month. I was
really?
out.
So that short of a time.
Oh yeah.
You're just like, Mom, I'm hanging out with convicts, Mom. Like I can't do this.
I was like, Mom, these people have actually been convicted for shit.
Yeah, like they got real problems.
Right.
And then so what was the process from there? You got out, you're 18 by then.
Yeah, I was 18 by then. My mom kicked me out because that was the ultimatum. You know? So I ended up living with my buddy.
At 18?
At 18. And I lived with him and his family. His family is really well off. They're very sweet people. They took very good care of me. And they told me I didn't have to go to school if I didn't want to. So I was like, fine.
Fuck yeah, I like these people.
I was like, I like this. Like my folks, they're mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, they were really on you, it sounded like.
Yeah. Of course, they just want what's best for you at that age, but when you're so young, you don't really realize that.
Right, yeah, it's much of a bigger picture for them. But then you're 18, you're like, this is my life. I'm gonna do what I want to do.
Rebellious.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
So what were you thinking at that time?
I'm 18. I'm a grown ass man.
Exactly.
That's what
Exactly. I'm done with this school crap.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go do what I want to do. What were you thinking at the time? Like, what did you have any sort of thought?
Like for the future?
Yeah, your next couple years look like? Or you just like?
I had nothing going for me at that moment. You know what I mean? I was working at Olive Garden as a busser. You know, bussing tables and shit.
Yeah.
Which, you know, in a tourist town, right off the beach, I was making a walk.
Some good tips, probably.
At least for an 18-year-old. You know what I mean?
Right, because you think a couple $100 is like kicking it big.
You're getting big.
You're balling, yeah.
If you come home with $1,000 that week, you're feeling like a king.
Right, shit, I'm gonna go cop this. Oh, we finna go out tonight.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I was just relying on that, which was crazy because my mom worked at that same Olive Garden as a server too. And so
no shot.
I had to clock in and work with my mother, who was really upset with me at that time.
No way.
Yeah.
Man, that must have been a tense shift. You're like trying to bust the table when she's not there. Like,
I swear, yeah. I would look at my manager, her name was Paula, and I was like, Paula, please, any schedule with my mother, do not sign me up.
yeah, like please don't set us up for this bullshit.
Yeah. I was like, if we like clock in and out like after each other, fire. But like, yeah, no.
Was your mom? Was it a point of contention for you guys? Like, was it a constant kind of battle, or how was she taking that?
She was taking it well, mainly because I'm sure she was relieved. I was a hellion.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure she was relieved when I got out of that house. So I don't think the tensions were too high. I think she was just more worried about the better good of myself.
Right.
But I mean, it wasn't nothing where I would clock in and work and then I see my mom like, oh, fuck that bitch. You know what I mean?
Right. Like she wasn't giving you no dirty look. Or
right.
Anything. Like she was just truly
worried, wanting the best for me.
Right. She was trying to figure you out.
Right.
And maybe that time out of the house helped you.
I think it did.
Yeah.
I think it did because later down the road, like a year later, they announced that they were moving to Arkansas. I had no family in Florida, so I was like, they told me you can either stay here in Florida with your second family who adopted you pretty much,
yeah,
or you can come back to Arkansas with us. And I was like, well, I mean, I'd be an idiot if I stayed here.
Right. Did it seem like? Did you think it was kind of like a stranded situation? You were like, I have to have some sort of connection.
Yeah, I gotta have some sort of family around me back then. If shit was to go south, I'd have some sort of like backup.
Exactly, a backstop where you're like,
right.
I have help regardless.
Right.
Okay. And then, so talk me through going back to Arkansas. And then, were you still spending time living with them, or did you kind of get another place near that?
Yeah. So again, my parents, they gave me an ultimatum. They said, you can enroll back into this public high school in Arkansas, and they'll transfer all your credits. You don't have to go back to an alternative school, none of that, because they don't know about my skipping record and not showing up for classes. And all that shit.
Yeah.
So they're like, you can go back to like an actual public school and get you're only a year away from graduating. They're just like, you can graduate and then do whatever you want. I did not graduate.
No.
And I'll tell you why I didn't graduate. So one evening, I had a job, right? I was in high school. I was working at Applebee's as a server.
Okay.
And one day, my mom gets a nice little message from my English teacher. And I wasn't skipping classes. And that wasn't the issue this time.
Yeah, you're showing up.
The issue this time was just me not doing the assignments, or like, I wouldn't say the assignments, but the exams, like I'll half-ass the exams. Like a dumbass, you know? And she contacted me like right after, and I had a shift at like 4 p.m. that day. And she's like, you need to go back to that high school and retake that exam.
Really?
Because my English teacher told my mom that she would let me retake the exam. And I told my mom, I was like, I gotta work. I can't.
Yeah, like, Mom, I gotta make my money.
I gotta go work. Like,
yeah.
I'm paying for my truck, my insurance, all this kind of crap. I was like, I gotta go work.
Yeah, like, fuck this exam, Ma. I ain't thinking about that.
Like, I don't care about this exam. Like, oh, well, a D, you know? Like,
come on, Ma, I'm finna pass.
Right. I'm like, come on. Like, I got a C in the class. I'm not too worried about it. It's high school. And I come back that evening after my shift. All of my shit packed up. All of it.
God, I can only imagine the feeling.
Oh yeah. I get home and I'm like looking at it, and this was like right around Christmas time too. And all my Christmas presents, it was like November. You know what I mean? Like the end of November.
Yeah.
And all my Christmas presents were on the porch. All that.
Oh no.
And I feel guilt. I'm like, oh. Like, okay. I'm like, I didn't know we're taking it this far. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And
shit done hit the fan.
I get home. They say, where are you going? And I said, what do you mean? They're like, your stuff's packed out from the front porch. Like, where are you heading to? What's your next move after this? And that's when I was like, well, I'm already in Arkansas, so I guess I'm going to Missouri.
Wow. I can only imagine being at such a young age and having your parents say, you can't be here.
Yeah. I mean, you know, you strike out so many times.
Right. Well, so, I bet your mom was at the fucking end of her rope. Yeah. She's like, this motherfucker keeps fucking around.
And I had siblings too. She didn't want to raise my siblings around what I was doing. You know what I mean? Like, I was bringing weed in the house.
Right.
Stuff like that.
At that point, you probably weren't the best role model.
Right.
For the younger kids.
Right.
Yeah.
So
that day, what happened?
I took my truck, I loaded it up, and I drove to Missouri. And I contacted my buddy, and I was like, hey man, I'm down bad. Like, I got nowhere else to go. Like, what's the move? And he was like, bro, you can crash at my place for as long as you need. And so he helped me get my foot out and put my foot in the door at least, and got some jobs, worked, and then eventually, man, it was about to get deep. I went homeless after that.
Really?
I was living in my truck.
So what was the portion of time you stayed at his place? And what area in Missouri were you staying?
So, you know, like Springfield area?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it would be like one of the suburbs. It was a town called Ozark.
Okay.
And eventually, I did get my own apartment after moving out of his place. But, you know, I was just an ignorant, like, 19-year-old at that time. And working, who wants to work? Homie's saying they're going to the lake. I want to go to the lake.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so I'd skip out of work, lose my job, and then one thing led to another. I started selling
Just to sustain yourself?
just to sustain myself.
Unbelievable.
And I was doing good doing that,
Yeah.
as one would.
Enough to float. Enough to keep
float.
rolling.
I got a call from my roommate one day, and they said that the drug enforcement officers or whatever had busted down my apartment door.
No.
It got that bad.
No.
It got that bad.
Man, they must have been watching your ass or something, bro.
Had to have been. But I was always on the run. Like, I was always moving. You know what I mean? And so,
That's unbelievable.
I wasn't even in town.
Yeah.
I was in Springfield.
You're like, you didn't stop them, bro?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
He was like, yeah, dude, they just like raided your room. They didn't see anything or find anything. I'm like, because I had it all on me. You know, I'm like, yeah, I mean, well, they didn't see anything.
Fuck them.
Fuck them. So,
bro.
come back and my roommate is like pissed off. He's like, we can't be doing this, yada yada. And
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, you're like my biggest clientele.
Yeah, bro, what do you mean?
What are you talking about? Like, and so he ended up like moving out, and so then I had to cough up his portion of the rent.
Right, now your rent's double.
Now my rent's double. One thing led to another. Got evicted, and then ended up just staying in my truck for like 3 or 4 months. And then one day I took a tab of acid because I was just so down bad. I was like, fuck it, like let's see what other drugs are out there and shit.
Yeah.
And so I took a tab of acid, and I had the most awakening experience
Really?
of my life. And to the point where the next day I didn't make no phone call, no nothing. I put as little money I had into my gas tank, and I drove back to Arkansas. When I got to Arkansas, I shit you not, my parents had like a mile-long driveway. I met my mom at the end of the driveway. Like, here's me, here's the driveway, as I'm pulling up. And my mom goes, oh, fucking no way. There's no shot. And my little sister rolls down the window, and she's like, what are you doing here? And I'm like, I'm here to move back.
So what did she say?
She was basically just like, your stepdad's not going to enjoy this. She was like, I'm going to let him know that you're here, and we're going to see what we can do for you.
Unbelievable.
So another ultimatum was given to me. They said, you can get your GED and live here and then join the military, or you're not staying here at all. And I was like, I'm going to get my GED and join the military.
Okay. I do want to backtrack though, because
Yeah.
I got to talk about the time you were homeless.
Yeah.
And what it was like spending your days living out of the truck. I mean, it's just...
I was still selling drugs at this point. Look, dude, one of my buddies, he was like the big like boss in Springfield, and he was like, I'm trying to move my operation down to Branson. And I'm like, okay, well, like, I don't know anyone in Branson. Like, I mean, I do know people in Branson, but like, not enough to like make clientele, I feel like. And so, he gave me like, I think a £1/4 or something like that, and some dabs to sell for him.
Yeah.
And so I ended up doing that. And eventually, bro, I said no more to this. So I was like selling weed out of my truck. I would go to like my homies places. I lived in Branson, smoke them up and shit, just to have a place to kick back at. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
you, at that point, you were taking your truck and just parking up in
some random parking lot, like this gas station. I'd sit there, and I parked my truck at this gas station almost every night. I got so cool with the gas attendant.
Yeah.
I was like talking to him, and he would like dish me out like every morning, like Krispy Kreme donuts would come to
Oh, hell yeah.
gas station, and he would have like extra Krispy Kreme donuts.
Do you remember his name?
It's like Josh. I think it's Josh.
Josh.
Yeah.
Big ups to Josh,
Big
man.
up to Josh.
He's
bro.
holding it down.
He helped me out a lot. Yeah.
That's unbelievable. So you ended up, did you end up sleeping in that parking lot most of the nights?
Yeah.
Was there any like time where someone pulled up on you?
Yeah. I've had police like come up to my vehicle, and I had a bitch seat truck,
What's that? Yeah.
So a bench seat truck is where it's just like only two doors, and it's just like a one-seater, like pretty much like it's a bench. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it can fit 3 people, but that's all it is that like seat.
Right.
And so there's like this little cabin area in the back of it where I would just like push the seat up, and I'd have enough like room to fit my body in.
Yeah, enough to lay down, get a little bit relaxed. Yeah.
And so one night I remember Branson police like pulled up on my truck, knocking on it. Didn't see anyone in it because I'm in this cabin little area, like scrunched up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not making a move, not making a sound, nothing. And they just eventually just left.
Damn. That must have been. Were you ever, at that point in your life, did it scare you to be out there every night? How are you kind of handling that, being homeless?
Mentally, bro, it was awful. Like, I remember one time I was hanging out with my homie, and we were just talking about life and shit, and I was like going through it. Like, that was probably my biggest like down, rock bottom area I was at. And mentally, bro, I was just throwing the biggest fit. I was blaming other people besides myself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Taking no accountability. And that just wasn't how it was. It was clearly my fault.
Well, who were you mad at?
I guess the universe, you know what I mean? Just like the world.
Just ending up there in general.
Yeah,
just
being
like,
there in general.
how did I get here?
Right.
So, after that whole portion of time, a couple months, 3 or 4 months.
Yeah.
You drive back to Arkansas with the last of your money.
Yeah.
You get there, you see your mom right away. Sounds like something out of a movie.
Right.
Like she just intercepts you.
It was the craziest thing.
And then after that, you got there, and obviously your stepdad had a feeling about it. What was that feeling?
Oh, he was mad. I remember because like they didn't have a room for me or nothing open, which I mean they got like an office room and like the 2 bedrooms for my siblings and stuff like that.
Right.
But they cleared out the office room and threw a mattress in there for me, and so I was like sleeping, basically like a bum, you know, sleeping over at their homie's house.
Yeah.
With a mattress, you know what I mean?
Wow.
But eventually they're like, you need to sign up for your GED classes. And I did. I signed up, and I was in that program for like 2 days. Or not 2 days, 2 weeks. Because you got to do like the whole testing stuff, like practice exams and whatnot.
Right.
So I was in there for 2 weeks doing that, and then the next week I did my exams and passed everything.
And then you were done.
And then I was done.
So it only took 2 weeks in the end, just to get it all cleared out.
Yeah. And then at that point, they're like, you need to join the military. And at which I was like, look, I mean, military, they take care of their folks. You know what I mean? Like,
right. You put in your time, they will definitely take care of you.
Oh, my buddy's in the military, and he was in for 4 years, only 4 years, but he gets a fat check every month from the government.
Yeah. People really underestimate it and look down on it too.
Right.
Just like not going to college.
Yeah.
But you can make good money and set yourself up. Like truly, once you get out, then you got all this time. They cover education, if I'm not mistaken. They help you out with that. Yeah.
And so let me go back a little bit when I was living in Florida. And this is why the military didn't work out for me. Me and my buddies, you know, we're doing hoodlum shit. We thought guns and shit were cool and whatnot. And there's this dude who we had a run out with. And I forgot his name, but I think his name was Bailey or something like that. But Bailey was having some issues with me and my boy. And we're at that point where we're like, we're not going to be punked out by you. Like, what?
Right.
Like,
what you think this is?
What do you think this is? And so we're trying to be like hard asses and whatnot. And he ended up calling the police and giving the police allegations that we had a gun on us during this whole time.
Man, what a bitch.
And so me and my buddy both got charged with domestic violence with a firearm.
Okay.
And if in the state of Florida, that is considered, it's a misdemeanor. But in the state of Florida, if you have it, then you're not allowed to purchase a firearm.
So you're officially barred out from that whole section.
I mean, I can have like hunting rifles, shotguns, and stuff like
Right.
that. I just can't have a pistol. And because of that, the military did a background check on me later on in life, saw that, and said, you can't have a gun, period.
Yeah.
Like, and if you can't have a gun, you're of no use to the military.
It makes sense.
Right.
So they ran the background check, and you just couldn't even be a part of it.
Couldn't be a part of it.
God, I can't imagine how pissed your mom was.
I was pissed too, because I was ready to just get out of some dodge, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So the military couldn't work.
Mm-hmm.
What was on your mind at that point? I mean,
well, I worked all these jobs, and I didn't really have an education other than my GED. From my experience, at least from what I've read online and stuff like that, too, you just have a GED, it's hard to find a job.
Right. Well, in a job that just pays.
That matters, and pays, and can support your lifestyle.
Exactly.
And so, I ended up getting a scholarship because of my GED results and stuff like that. And so I figured the next best thing was just to take that scholarship and go to college. And so, here we are.
So you chose?
I chose college. I went to a small D2 college in Arkansas for about 3 years.
Okay.
And got my GPA to like a 3.8 or something like that.
3.8's pretty good.
It was pretty fire. I was an RA too.
Okay, so you're saving the money.
Saving the money,
yeah,
bro.
It seems like you were playing it pretty good out there.
Right.
Yeah.
I was not in debt until I came to the zoo.
No, zoo. Fuckers.
But yeah, everything was paid for, and so I came to the zoo eventually, and here we are.
So talk me through just a couple of years you spent in Arkansas.
Yeah.
And which school was it? And was it, super small?
Yeah. So it was a D2 school, so it was fairly small. Our mascot is the bull weevil. If you don't know what a bull weevil is, you should probably look that up.
Yeah, I'm about to.
It's probably the funniest mascot you could ever see. I think it's a top like 5 candidate for like the most bizarre mascot in the United States.
What's the school called?
The school is called University of Arkansas at Monticello.
So it's like a smaller division of Arkansas.
Yeah, it's like out in Missouri we got Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri, St. Louis.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. How do I spell this?
University. You can just type in UAM actually.
UAM.
Yeah. And then bull weevil, BOLL weevil.
I definitely botched the fuck out of that, but. Is this it? The cotton blossoms?
Yep, cotton blossoms.
Yeah. Where'd they get that name from?
So the boll weevils, down in Arkansas, they have a bunch of like cotton fields and whatnot, right?
Okay.
The boll weevil is a parasite that destroys the crops.
Huh. Bull. So you had a parasite as your mascot. That's cool.
We had a parasite as a mascot. Yeah.
God, I gotta see it. Oh, this thing's nasty looking.
Oh yeah.
I'll post edit this so everyone can see this, but looks like a tick kind of.
Yeah, and they will destroy your crops faster than anything.
So what a terrible mascot choice.
Yeah.
Right.
It is, and it's a green fuzzy little like the outfit or the mascot outfit is pretty funny.
I gotta find this now too. So you spent 2 or 3 years there.
Yep.
How are you spending your time, and what was your original
My plan?
Your education, like, were you going into business?
Yeah. So at first, I didn't think I had the whole credentials to be a college-educated man at that point of time. So I wanted to pick a degree that would be fun for me.
Yeah.
And, yeah, that's it right there.
That is hilarious.
Yeah, that's it right there.
That is terrible. That looks like something out of like a scary movie. If you saw that in the dark, I'd be scared.
You're crapping yourself.
Oh my god.
My first degree was physical education.
Okay.
I wanted to be a PE coach. And so, because working for a school, you get a good retirement plan.
Sure.
Ain't no better job in the school system than I feel like as a PE coach,
Right, real chill
vibes, just make sure everyone's fit.
Yeah, I think also too, you get a little more of a choice in what you teach.
Yeah.
I would think at least, like, if you're a teacher, you gotta go by the book.
Right.
And a PE teacher, I bet they probably let you,
There's a variety of
they let you get a lesson. You're writing your lesson plan or whatever.
Like, you can teach health class or
whatever. Yeah.
But I was flying through those classes like no other. They're just easy.
Mm-hmm.
And it came to a point where I was hanging out with a bunch of biomed majors, and because that's all my roommates were in college, were like biomed, bioengineer, all that kind of stuff. And I was like looking at them, and I'm like, what y'all learning over there? Like, what's going on with y'all? Like, I've been done with my assignments for the past like 3 days now.
Yeah,
like,
for real.
What y'all got going on? And so they're teaching me some of it, and at that point, I was like, man, am I too smart for this field? Like, what's going on? Like, why am I like not struggling? Like, why is it such a breeze? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I wanted to challenge myself a little bit, and so I changed my degree to biochem. I don't have to do that hard.
Yeah. Well, just in the name, biochem.
Yeah, shout out to everyone that passes those classes, because major respect.
Yeah.
Major respect.
Man, I can't even imagine the amount of hours it takes to do some shit like that.
I got down to a point where my advisor had set me down, and he was like, we need to reevaluate what your plan is. I'm like, oh, I'm like, grades looking that bad, huh? Like,
shit.
That's crazy. So. He was like, you're pretty prolific in like English, and like those are like the strong suits it's looking like. And so I ended up changing my degree to political science / pre-law.
So you went to pre-law, and then how much more time was that in Arkansas?
I did that for 2 years, because I switched my major from PE in my first semester.
Okay, so you kind of knew right away, you're like, I don't think this is it.
Yeah.
And then you went to biochem, and that didn't.
Like, this is not.
This is too much.
Yeah. This is too much.
So you had to find that medium. Yeah. So you started political science, and then what was the point where you went to Mizzou?
So I had gotten accepted into the law program here at Mizzou, and I was at that point, I wanted to find a school that I liked, that I was really into, and I was stuck between Arkansas and Mizzou. And what's crazy is Arkansas did not give me a scholarship at all, but Mizzou gave me a shit ton of scholarships.
So it made the decision.
It made the decision by itself.
Right. Quite a bit easier.
Quite a bit easier. So
yeah.
I was like, I'm going to go where I get the most money and less like paying out of pocket.
Yeah. And then had you spent any time previously at Mizzou?
Yeah, I had toured it. I had known, because I was in KA down in Arkansas, and I was the journalist or historian, the number 5 guy,
Okay.
So we went out to a conference in St. Louis, and I met up with Andrew, I met up with Ben, all of them, and they're talking about how awesome Mizzou was. And I was just like talking to them about it, and they're like, man, you come up here, like we'll get you in KA, like we'll get you all this. And I was like, man, sign me up. Like, I like knowing people before I go there. You know what I mean?
Right. It definitely makes it easier
Mhm.
for sure. So they kind of upsold it to you a little bit too.
Yeah, they
like,
did upsell to me a little bit.
over here, we got nice over here.
Yeah, we got nice over
Yeah.
here. And I think my biggest turning point was because back where I was at in Monticello, it was a dry county. So I don't know if you know what a dry county is,
Go ahead and
but it's where they don't allow any liquor whatsoever.
What about beer?
No beer. Like, the only places that can get beer is like restaurants.
So no liquor stores? Like
No
those don't
liquor
exist
stores,
there?
No liquor stores, no bars, no clubs.
And that's in
No.
the whole county, or is it just for like the college?
It's the whole county.
Unbelievable.
So if you wanted to get anything, you'd have to drive like 30 or 40 minutes out of the county. And I remember, like, during that time, I would drive to like Monroe, Louisiana, or Little Rock just to go like bar hopping and clubbing and stuff.
Yeah. So
Which
there
is-
obviously there wasn't much of a party scene out there.
There was no party scene.
Yeah, all right.
I'll just tell you how little it is. We have fraternities, we have sororities, no houses.
So how does that even work though? Do they?
And it's pretty
You got
much
like
like a club, like, I don't know, like we'll just meet up in like a cafeteria or something.
It's unbelievable. There's no home base at all. So
There's
yo,
no
let's go
home
meet
base.
at the park.
We pretty much all share like one area with the sororities and other fraternities, and we'd have to schedule our meeting. Like,
Seriously?
yeah.
So you'd have to be battling around other fraternity schedules.
Yeah.
Just man, that probably pissing people off.
Oh yeah.
I can't even.
I think
do that.
now they're trying to like get some funding for like houses and stuff. Like, they have like a development plan in place, but I haven't heard anything about it yet.
Yeah, I think as much flack as sororities and fraternities get, it's crucial
Yeah, it is crucial.
to uphold, just to have a college environment.
Right, yeah.
And I think that leaving those type of things out, you're leaving out the whole, or at least half the point.
That's the point.
I think college is just as much education as it's got to be social.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
you got to grow. Not only as you should be getting smarter,
Yes.
but you should also be kind of coming into your own socially
Mhm.
and learning who you can talk to, who you want to spend your time
Right.
with. You know.
Finding like-minded people,
Yeah.
and it's hard to do that if you ain't got like organization clubs and stuff.
Exactly. It makes it much harder to actually find a group.
Well, how many times do you just like walk past blindly on campus and don't even say hi to like your neighbor sitting next to you
Right.
in
Well,
class?
plenty of time.
Plenty of time.
And same thing with the dorm situation. Like,
Yeah.
you know, it takes a lot
But
more.
that comes back to the social media aspect. You know, so.
Yep. Yeah. Yep. It's so much easier to spend your time just sitting in your dorm room.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That'll put you behind real quick.
hmm But there, I was kind of thankful for it though, because it kept me like in the books. You know what I mean? Like, I was doing all my studying.
Yeah. Dude, a 3.8 is pretty respectable for any college. I mean, that takes dedication and time.
Right.
So,
And so, yeah, I was just talking to the guys up here at Mizzou, and they told me to come. And I visited the campus back in like March at some point, and I went to. I'll tell you what was the game changer. The game changer was the bar scene here.
oh, okay.
So I went to Willie's my first night touring here, and I noticed how huge it is, like in there. Like, what, they got like 3 or 4 dance rooms or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, it's huge.
Yeah.
And I saw like how many people were like social and like interacting with each other and like just that environment. And I was like, I'm not coming back. I told my homies, I was like, I'm sitting in my transfer paperwork tomorrow.
Right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I can only imagine the difference between going from a small school to Mizzou, where, you know, attendance is probably triple or whatever it is.
We had 3,000 students.
Yeah, I mean, that's nothing.
We got 30 here.
Yeah, exactly. And then again, coming from a dry county to here,
To here.
I mean, you know, it's probably one of the drunkest.
I came at
Campuses.
the time too, because we came legalized.
It's beautiful.
It
Yeah, it was like the perfect storm, huh?
It was amazing. Yeah.
One thing I do want to talk about too is where the KA house was at that point.
Like, what do you mean?
What it was like, because I know it was much smaller
Oh,
from
here?
when I first got here.
I didn't join the first semester I was here, believe it or not. I was talking to them and like I was interested in it, but it came to a point where I had so much anxiety in my first semester here because it was just a new world. You know what I mean?
Right.
I had started like I remember my first like week here, and just like it felt like I was in New York City, bro. Like I was just walking through campus and like thousands of people just like walking next to me.
Yeah, it's like getting slapped in the face. You're like,
I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah.
Like, okay, I'm used to like seeing maybe 20 or 30 people walking my direction, but now I'm seeing like hundreds, and it was crazy. But so at first semester I was like very just to myself, like trying to like figure out the area, trying to get it accumulated.
exactly. Trying to acclimate. Trying to be like, yo, this is much different than what I'm used to.
Mm-hmm.
Let me figure out how I'm about to rock.
Right. And I met this girl. Her name is Haley. We dated for a little bit. Didn't work out. It was life. But she helped me broaden my like life here, like my social aspect, shit like that. To the point where I ended up contacting Ben. And I was like, hey man, like I think I'm ready to join KA, like again, like get back into emotions. But at this point, I believe it was finally picking up. Like, who was in that class whenever Marcus was in the class. I think it was like the Delta class or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What year was that? Just to
2023.
try to get. Okay.
Yeah, 2023.
So yeah, at that point.
Yeah, it was the first semester. It was the spring semester of 23.
Okay. Yeah. At that point, the class before that was Slick and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah. At that point, everything had just started getting off the ground.
Right.
Yeah. Man, what a time. So after your first week, you get introduced with her.
Yeah.
And did you get out right away? Like, did you start spending all your weekends out and all that? Or?
Oh yeah. Like we'd go. My favorite bar is Nash Vegas. Love that place.
Okay.
Love a good honky tonk scene. We'd go there like almost every karaoke night.
I feel like that's the Arkansas in you.
Oh yeah.
That's talking a little bit.
Yeah. I've never done karaoke in my life until then, but now anytime that there's karaoke, I'm all up for it.
So what is your go-to song or songs?
Oh gosh, Friends in Low Places.
Okay, yeah, that's a great song.
Let's see, anything more than Warren, perhaps. I mean, just bangers that people know of. Feathered Indian.
Okay. What'd you think of his new album? Or
I like his new album. I wasn't expecting what he was dropping. I had to definitely listen to his album like on repeat, at least like for a solid like 2 or 3 days before getting into the message. You know what I mean? Yeah.
It would take a while, like a couple extra turns to really start diving into it.
Right. But I like it. I think the song Miami gets too much heat. Maybe a hot take. I think it's different for sure, and it definitely has like that hip hop like track to it.
Yeah.
Which kind of sways people away from his music. But I think it's more than Wallen, and no matter what he does, he's probably gonna be successful doing it.
Probably. Well, in any way, someone's gonna tune in regardless because of his name. Didn't he do a song with Dirk too, way back when?
Yeah, Broadway Girls.
Yes, that's one of the few country songs that I actually liked. Dude, back in the day, I used to talk so much shit about country music.
Yeah, I did too.
God, I only listened to rap. I was so just kind of tunnel visioned into rap. And then I spent my first summer out in the Ozarks.
Oh yeah.
And there is nothing better than country on a boat.
Yeah.
Like,
it's a vibe.
Exactly. There's truly nothing like it.
It's a vibe.
Yeah.
And I wasn't big into country until probably COVID. Like, I mean, I've done like fishing and like hunting and stuff like that, but like music wise, like I was like, oh man, that's something you like listen to if you got family. Like,
yeah.
What are you talking about? And then I'll never forget the first time I heard Good Direction by Bill and Currington.
Bro.
And that song sent me.
That song, That song slaps.
That song slaps, and that's what made me dive into country so much harder.
Hold on, I need to check out my little country playlist because that song is so great. God, what's the other one?
Good direction.
I bet you know all these songs, but because I like old country, and most of the new stuff I don't really listen to.
Yeah.
I love Toby Keith.
Love it.
I mean, God.
Rest his soul.
Right, rest his fucking soul for real. But Good Directions. You know who Josh Turner is?
Yes.
Bro,
yes.
Would You Go With Me, bro? I remember my dad playing that as a jit, like, oh, so good, so good. God, I know there's one other.
And it gives you a different perspective on life, Loki.
It's just happy music.
It's happy music.
Which is much different from exclusively listening to rap.
Right.
You know.
And there was a time where I was listening to nothing but rap. Like when I was selling drugs in Branson and like out here doing whatever the hell I wanted to do as a hoodlum, I was mainly influenced by rap. Like I was listening to it, and it comes to a point where if you listen to it enough, you turn into it. You know what I mean?
That can definitely be the case. Well, and you start idolizing the lifestyle.
The hoes, the guns, the drugs,
money, the women.
Yep. Nice cars.
Yep, they all got it well. Why don't I try to be like them?
Why don't I try to be like them?
Do you remember like the couple artists that you really liked back in the day?
Yeah. Golly.
And also, was Kodak like a huge thing in Florida?
Oh yeah.
Oh.
There's a wave.
Yeah.
No flocking, bro.
Oh shit.
Oh yeah, I remember living in Florida and the flocking came onto the scene, and you're just like, okay, like,
yeah.
What was his mixtape after that? That was like, it was based off of like Notorious B.I.G.'s album.
I remember I started listening to him on his Institution album.
Yeah.
With him on the front. God, like that.
Like that.
There's a couple other ones, but they're all so good.
Codeine Dreaming.
Bro, so many bangers on that album.
I don't think Codeine Dreaming is on that album, but I remember when that song came out too, and that was a banger.
Kodak, man. I can't believe he's still functioning.
He's doing good for himself now.
You think so?
Yeah, he has from what I've seen on like TikTok and whatnot, he has his own yacht. He has a house on the ocean. Outside of Miami.
Yeah, I saw his or whenever I saw him recently was on clips anyway of Kai Cenat's stream.
Yeah.
Of him like geeked out and shit.
Yeah. I'm sure he's geeking out.
Yeah,
I'm sure he's geeking out.
I wonder if he'll ever get off the Yerks.
I don't know, man. Hey, Trump pardoned him, so
he's safe officially.
And so did YoungBoy.
YoungBoy, did he get pardoned?
He did get pardoned.
By Trump?
By Trump.
Damn, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that happened like a few weeks ago. He announced his first tour.
Really?
Right after that.
What was it a pending case that he was?
I don't know what he was doing in Utah. First off.
Yeah.
He got arrested in Utah for something, or maybe he was sent to a prison in Utah. I don't know. But I know he had a bunch of like drug cases, gun cases,
right?
Just stuff he get caught for,
Isn't that crazy that we got a president that's just pardoning rappers?
I'm here for it.
Well, yeah, me too. But
I don't think any other politician out of their right minds would have like done that. But like Trump, I don't know who came into his office and was like, "Have you heard that new Kodak?
Yeah.
You should reconsider."
Yo, Trump, this new young boy slapped him. We need to get him out.
We need to get him out. I don't know who did that, but
somebody was spitting facts when they did that. That's unbelievable. Like back in the early 2000s, no one would have ever imagined. Yeah, President Trump pardoned Kodak Black. What an unbelievable headline.
That is a crazy headline. But back to your question with the rappers that I listen to, it was mainly like Lil Wayne. Wayne.
Yeah.
I remember the Carter 3. Carter 3
Oh
came
shit,
out.
so that's early.
It was like 2010, 2012.
Yeah.
Around there.
Yeah.
And that shit slapped. Then I progressively moved to The Sideline Stories by J. Cole.
Okay.
That was good. And then that brought me into like Kendrick, which then brought me into like Young Thug. And then I fell in love with the Atlanta scene.
Thug, yeah. Atlanta changed everything. Like,
Oh yeah.
late 2010s, like 2016, whatever it was.
I remember Gunna hopping on a track with Young Thug, and I'm like, who is this guy? Like,
Yeah.
He slaps, and now he's like one of the biggest out there.
Well, and they took over the whole scene. Him, Baby, Lil Baby, just everyone from out there. They really took off. They made millions of dollars, and are still most of them in the scene. It's crazy that Lil Baby fell off the way he did.
I know, but I just think that he made his money. You know what I mean? And now he's kind of just like throwing out albums because he's on a record deal. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like maybe he got a little too comfortable.
Right.
Like,
too comfortable.
yeah.
And he's just like, well, let me get out of this record deal so I can go live my life or whatever.
Speaking of too comfortable, did you hear or listen to Wayne's new album?
Yes.
What did you think?
I haven't listened to it completely. But, there's some good songs. I like Cotton Candy or whatever with 2 Chainz.
Yeah.
That was a good song. I liked his one song, his intro. His intro song's pretty good. I don't know. I gotta give it a listen now.
Because he's getting a lot of hate for it.
Yeah.
And I listened to it. You know, I went kind of track to track just one time, and it didn't seem that impressive to me.
Yeah. There's one song that I pulled up, and it sounds like you ever watch SpongeBob?
Yeah.
You know when SpongeBob is like trying to make that song with Mr. Krabs, or the radio is like beep boop bop, beep boop bop. You know, they're going back and forth. And he's like, no, it's not beep boop bop, it's beep bop boop or something. One of the songs kind of reminded me of that. On that album.
Yeah, I can't even imagine what Wayne is. That's one of my least favorite things about any rapper, and the reason why I hate Lil Dicky so fucking much. I just don't like corny rappers.
You don't like pillow talking?
Nah, save that shit for the fucking birds, bro. I'm not doing that shit.
Every once in a while, I'll come back to pillow talking, and I'm like,
okay, but what do you think? Or I'll tell you my opinion, but I think Lil Dicky makes us white boys look bad. Especially with how he handles himself with the other rappers. Like, he acts so
he's just not serious.
Corny, bro.
That's his whole thing, though. I just don't think he's serious.
And that shit really bothers me for some reason. Like, I just can't get behind it.
I don't listen to Lil Dicky. Like, back in 2015, like, Lil Dicky, fresh off the scene, like, his first album, pretty good.
Yeah, that little joint he had with Snoop and all that stuff.
That was pretty good. But anything after that, like, I think he's more of a comedic rapper.
For sure.
And so he doesn't really like put too much like thought into it. He's just like he's a comedian, so he's all about comedy. That whole 2015 era to like 2016.
2015 through like 2018 after like
golden era for
just
pop.
So much great.
I'll never forget the XXL snippet or whatever.
Yeah, the Cypher, the 2016 one.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, and the thing was that, or at least I think, I don't know, I feel like I liked it right away, but a lot of people say that they didn't even like it, like they grew to like it.
Yeah.
You know? But when Uzi got on that track with his Go Yard bags, I was like, yo, this is fire.
Yes.
This is so fire. I loved Uzi's and Kodak's verse on that was really good too.
Yeah. And then you had what's his name? Designer.
Was Designer on that one?
Yeah, Designer.
Oh my god, I don't even remember him.
And there's a conspiracy theory with Designer and Kanye.
What was it? Was he?
So apparently first, Future had dropped a song, and you know the song, Father Stretch My Hands.
Yeah.
Part 1 and part 2.
Yeah.
Originally that was meant for Future.
Because part 2 is like the Designer part.
Yeah.
Like it kicks into like the.
Everyone thought that was Future. when it first dropped.
So they were mistaking Designer for Future
There were,
in that verse.
and he was definitely like an industry fan to like not be Future, but to sound like Future.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. I didn't even think of, I mean, obviously, Designer didn't go on to do basically
Much.
anything. Yeah.
He dropped Panda.
Timmy
Timmy
Turner.
Turner.
That shit was hard.
Yeah.
That shit was so hard. I'll still catch myself being like,
Mm-hmm.
King of Which
Oh yeah.
That shit is too tough.
And that time, bro, like Pokemon Go came out, you know what I mean? Everyone was just out and about.
Yeah, and it was just before all the bullshit ass COVID too. But I feel like out of all the times that all these rappers were getting so much flack for being SoundCloud rappers, everyone looks back on it, especially from my age, and we're like, damn, there's so much good music.
So much good music.
So much good music.
Like, if it wasn't for SoundCloud, like Lil Uzi Vert wouldn't be around. Kodak Black wouldn't be around. Chance the Rapper wouldn't be around.
Yeah, man, what a fall off he's had too.
Oh, and I used to be his biggest fan.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
His coloring books, bro.
That was a great, bro. He had so many fans from that album.
Oh, yeah.
So many fans. Some great music. Acid something. What's the
Yeah, Acid Raps.
Acid Raps?
Yeah. You know, he created that whole album tripping on acid.
Really?
Yeah. He got suspended from school for 10 days. And during that 10 days, he took acid and wrote the whole album.
It's unbelievable.
It is.
Crazy what drugs can do to your creative
I know.
spirit.
It is. It's crazy. And unfortunately, we want that Chance the Rapper back.
Yeah, we need a Chance back on them tabs.
Yeah.
For real. Yeah, I mean, I remember supporting him just because he was a Chicago kid.
Yeah.
And then he got together with like some of the politicians or whatever and was doing all that sort of thing. That's dope. That's dope. And then whatever that Clear Tape album was, just like what the fuck.
Oh yeah.
Some of the lyrics in there were just unbelievably terrible.
They were odd for sure.
Oh man, yeah, so much good music, so much. God, I loved Uzi so much. Love Is Rage 2. I bought the CD. I bought the CD because I loved it so much, and I played that thing front to back.
Love Is Rage, it goes crazy. Love Rage 1 and 2.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing is, I started on Love Is Rage 2 and then backtracked.
Yes.
And then all like,
well, and Meek Mill was coming up too during that time, and like he was hanging out with Meek Mill and stuff.
Yeah, well, and that was back when we didn't know what Meek Mill was really up to.
Now he's a dude, bro.
Well, yeah, we know what he was doing with Diddy.
Yeah, now we know what he's doing with Diddy. That's crazy.
God, can you imagine? That dude was like the head of the music industry for so long.
Oh yeah, I'll never forget 2015, the beef with him and Drake.
Really? He had beef with him? I don't even remember that.
Yeah, have you not heard the song Back to Back by Drake?
It sounds familiar, but I didn't. Was it a Diddy diss?
No, it was a. I remember one lyric. It was like, "Trigger fingers turn into Twitter fingers," and it was because Meek Mill was upset with Drake for not, shouting out his new album that he had